Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back. I have something extraordinary to reveal to you. Something that nobody would have ever guessed. Nobody would have ever thought of. Nobody would have ever believed could have been something that's true. And, well, part of our lives every day, at least for the last 4 or 5 years. Late night TV has gotten more liberal in 2025, at least according to a new study. And I'm like, more? How could it get more liberal? Well, let's find out what Deadline has to say. Here we go. Now, before we get started, just a quick reminder, double check you're still subscribed to the channel. We're trying to get over 50K, and YouTube just keeps fighting us, keeps punishing us. It doesn't seem to love me very much right now, which I don't understand because I do an awful lot for YouTube, and I've been doing an awful lot for YouTube for a long time. So let's make the last 5-6 years worth it, and let's get to 1,000 members as well. All right, let's jump on this. From Deadline, this is Peter White's article. Late night TV got more liberal in 2025. There's a study on this. There was even a comment on it. And let's jump in. So we've got late night television had a wounding year. A wounding year? The Late Night with Stephen Colbert was canceled ahead of David Ellison's purchase of Paramount, and Jimmy Kimmel was taken off the air following a furor around him basically standing on Charlie Kirk's grave, and CBS axed its 12:30 time slot. So we're starting to see a lot of these shows just disappear. Pressure from the right. Well, that's not true. Whether direct in Kimmel's case or implied in Colbert's, was a defining feature of the year for the sector. So it's not a huge surprise that the content of these shows got more liberal according to a new study. Wait a minute. Because these shows weren't the epitome of liberal already, it had to get more liberal? I mean, this is like leftism. These shows are the love letter to the anti-FA folks that, were, creating the summer of love and having mostly peaceful burning down of cities that they try to deny or conveniently forget. Somebody give me some strength here, because this is absolute nonsense. Now, the Media Research Center, a conservative watchdog group, which is part funded by Republican donor Robert Mercer, clocked that 92% of jokes told on the 6 nightly late-night shows were aimed at conservatives. Well, I would imagine the only place that's not being done is over on Gutfeld, and that's the only show that I don't even think's mentioned in this particular conversation, but let's take a look. You see, the group analyzed jokes from Comedy Central's The Daily Show, which is incredibly leftist, ABC's Jimmy Kimmel Live, which is driven by the leftism of Jimmy's wife, and NBC's The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, who hasn't been funny in a long time and just wants everybody to like him. And finally, Late Night with Seth Meyers, which is a complete crap show, CBS's The Late Show with Colbert, from January 6th through December 19th, as well as jokes told on After Midnight until its cancellation on June 12th, incredibly left. And to be fair, I mean, I'm not sure that After Midnight would have been a good match for the time slot, because you're putting one of the most attractive lady comedians at one of the worst time slots to a group of people who are already asleep, and or the new young generation, which doesn't drink anymore and is not going to come home late from the club to watch TV, which is nuts. So anyway, the Research Center found that 13,097 political jokes were told. Some 12,011 of them were about figures such as President Trump, Elon Musk, Robert F. Kennedy, and Pete Hegseth. This 92% figure was up from 82% the previous year. That's at least per the study. Now, liberals were the butt of the joke just 282 times across 818 episodes in total, which was the first time in the study's history that this joke count failed to reach quadruple digits. To me, it's unsurprising. It's because they are a one-trick, one-note pony, and they have been for a long time, which is why the shows are failing and which is why the ratings just continue to crash. And even after Jimmy's small resurgence, because, well, he came back from Disney taking him off the air, which is actually what happened, well, that was short-lived. About a week of people paying attention, and then everybody was gone. Melania Trump, President Biden, J.D. Vance, and Eric Trump rounded out the top 10 alongside General MAGA Trump supporters and Republicans. Now, mind you, it doesn't bother me that there's jokes made at a political party's or political supporters' expense. I don't really care, even if they're aimed at me. It happens all the time. I have my naysayers in the chat and probably some negative comments that'll appear down below in this video, where hopefully your positive comments show up and you support me as we continue to grow the podcast. Thank you for your attention to this matter, which is going to keep appearing on Tuesdays and Thursdays going forward until it becomes its own channel. Regardless, party leadership, however, was fairly even, with the late-night hosts mocking Mike Johnson around the same amount as they mocked Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. Well, they're jokes in and of themselves. But Real America's Voice Brian Glenn was the most joked about conservative personality in media. Well, it's not surprising to me. The study found that Kimmel was the biggest source of gags against the right, with 97% of his 3,046 jokes, I can't believe he even tries that hard, about Republicans. Understandable, given that Trump and his FCC commissioner, Brendan Carr, went after him so directly. No, they really didn't. This is a misdirect by a lying media source over at Deadline. While they did take a look, nothing happened. Disney even said that they were put under no pressure, and including the extreme leftist Dana Walden over at Disney, who would run this particular aspect of the company, the television side, basically saying that they weren't given any directive or told to do or not do anything with Kimmel. It was all choices made by the company itself. So perpetuating this lie, I mean, who are you going to believe? Certainly not the lamestream media. Anyway, Colbert was next with 92% of his jokes aimed at Republicans. Again, understandable given that he was canceled days after accusing his parent company, Paramount, of making a big fat bribe to settle a lawsuit with the president to smooth over a deal with Ellison. And boy, is that another misstatement of the situation. They settled because they deceptively edited and lied about what was said during a particular re-edit of Kamala Harris's conversation with one of their supposed news personalities. I'm telling you right now, there's no way to trust these people if they're going to misstate and misdirect and misinform about basic things that everybody can go and look up for themselves, which is what I think most people are doing these days. The Tonight Show host, Jimmy Fallon, hosted the most number of shows this year with 161 episodes, but had the lowest percentage of jokes against Republicans with 89%. That's interesting, but I don't think it's terribly surprising because in my opinion, and again, just my opinion, Jimmy Fallon is probably the most milquetoast guy of all, and he just wants everybody to like him. And by the way, the only comment on this story from Anonymous says, water is wet. And you know what? You can't argue with that. Suffice it to say, I didn't need a study to tell me that the leftists are featured prevalently on mainstream media, and that, yes, the majority of the garbage is coming out of the mouths of these people that the leftists hold up and deify as idols on late night television. I don't think that surprises anybody, and I don't think it surprises you. But if you have some thoughts about last year in late night, I'd like to know them right now. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya! Just not watching late night. Yikes.